County.
Hello and welcome to the special edition COVID-19 Rogers Television program dedicated to providing you and your family the information about services and resources available during this pandemic. My name is Carol Merton, and for those of you who watch the program, you know I like to say a few words of thanks at the very beginning. So I'm just going to read through what I've created. So first of all, as we move through phase one of the reopening of our province, we must celebrate the lifting of some of the public health restrictions, and we remain hopeful that we can continue to move towards phase two and phase three of the plan. Significant attention to the details required to keep the public and employees safe is very clear and obvious in the various businesses and the services that are reopening. But they need our support to follow these instructions and directions as we keep working together to prevent the spread of COVID-19. I know that I am learning to look down often to the floors in the stores to make sure I'm following the directional arrows correctly. I have been advised when I have gone the wrong way. We know that the situation continues to be fluid and keeps changing as the number of COVID-19 cases continues to be monitored closely by public health. Without a doubt, we are all anxious to get our lives back to normal, and we know that the new normal looks very different than the way it did a few months ago. We are anxious to move forward, and those on the front lines are weary. Thank you to all in our community who continue to provide the supports and services needed, to the Public Health Medical Officer of Health and the Public Health Unit staff, to all of our frontline, essential, and community support services for their ongoing efforts to keep the community services ongoing and to keep all of us safe. We will get through this together, and we will be stronger than ever. And on that note, I want to welcome a couple of guests today who are here to tell us about Big Brothers and Big Sisters and the exciting new challenge that they've got underway. So Andy McKee and Mandy have joined me today, and I want to thank you for being here. I'm wondering if you can introduce yourselves a little bit more, talk about your role, and a bit more about Big Brothers and Big Sisters. Who wants to go first?
Go ahead, Mandy.
All right. So I am Mandy Lamb. I'm the mentoring coordinator at Big Brothers Big Sisters Grey Bruce. I've been in this role. Tomorrow will be exactly 3 years that I've been in this role. So it has been a lot of fun. Basically, my job is to interview, meet with all of our families, all of our bigs, match them up, work with the school boards to make sure that we can get our programs running in the schools. And we don't have any other staff that are paid or in the office ever. So I do a little bit of everything when I'm at the office as well. So that's kind of what my role is.
Mandy, I have a question. You use the phrase bigs. Can you tell me what you mean by bigs?
Yes, sorry, I always do that. So our Big Brothers and Big Sisters, we just refer to them lovingly as bigs, and our little brothers and little sisters, we refer to them as our littles. So we meet with them and then we match them up together, and then they create a match.
Excellent. So I'll ask you more about that process as well, but I wanted Andy to introduce himself and his role as well.
Yes, good afternoon, or whenever this is on. It's Andy McKee, and I'm president of Big Brothers Big Sisters of Grey Bruce. I've been involved with the organization now for 25 years.
Wow.
So, but just in the last 3 years, and big thanks mostly to Mandy, we've really grown. We've more than tripled our clients, the people who we help. So that's good news. We just do the best we can with the funding that we have. Right now, we would like to have an executive director, but we're not in a financial position to do that. So Mandy has taken on a lot of the executive directing roles and is supported by the board in that role as much as we can.
Yeah.
So now with the COVID-19 situation, it's been a little more difficult, but we've been doing our best. We get good direction from our national office for to continue on as best we can. So, and we have weekly, well now they're bi-weekly executive briefings from everybody from across Canada. So, we get lots of ideas and input and things that we should be doing to help with the COVID-19.
And we're going to be chatting about how the community can support you financially, for sure, in just a few moments, because that's really the important thing to be able to keep this program going, for sure, is that community support. I'm wondering first, though, if you could just walk me through the process where you make the connections between the bigs and the littles, and how that program may be changing because perhaps the face-to-face interactions aren't able to occur like they did before. So if you can just speak to that a little bit, that would be really helpful.
Yeah. So basically, a family member or the youth themselves and the big themselves, they connect to our office, either by phone or email or, before COVID, see me walking down the street, and they fill out an application, and then I sit down and meet with them. So if it's a big, I meet just one-on-one with the big. If it is the little, then I meet with the little and their parent or guardian. And we usually spend about an hour together talking. I have a set of questions, but it's mainly just a conversation so that I can get to know who they are and why they're in the program, why they want to have a big or little. And that gives me a good idea of what their interests are and what their personality is. And then the good thing about being the only staff member is that I get to meet all of them. So I can match them a little easier because I've spent an hour with each of them.
Yeah.
And then we introduce them, and then they start hanging out once a week. So since COVID, we have started doing all of that virtually. So contacting us is the same as it's always been. It's just that our interview process is much the same as what you and I are seeing right now, faces on a screen, and whatever our house or our backyard looks like in the background. And we have the same interview process, and then we do the training sessions virtually as well. And then we will do a group match. So we will meet in a conference video chat, much the same as this, and introduce them. The feedback I've been getting is that our matches that were already together, they're almost connecting more now because they can do a quick text message or a quick phone call. And so they feel like they also have more time on their hands. They're not running to practices and all of those things. So, yeah.
Yeah. Now, currently, do you have enough? Do you have enough matches, or is there a need for bigs and littles?
Yes, there's always a need. Right now, I actually did get some numbers before I joined the call so that I'd be prepared. So currently we have 37 active community matches, and we have 9 school matches. So some of those school matches are still meeting virtually. Most of them are pen paling. So they're writing letters back and forth either by email or snail mail. But we do have 61 littles that are waiting for a big.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And what ages would they be? What ages of the littles?
So the littles in our program are between the ages of 6 and 16. So the majority of the ones that are waiting are younger because we have more younger littles that come to the program is generally why. But yeah, so some of those littles will be matched because I have some bigs that are in process right now. But we always we always have more littles than we have bigs. So we know the youth are out there.
So besides the financial contribution and the programming, which we're going to chat about, what would you say to the community if people say, oh, I don't know if I would be able to do that. I don't know if I have the skills to be able to do that. What would you say to people to encourage them to even consider talking to you about this? The bigs, I mean.
I would say that all of you are qualified to be a big. If you have any desire for human interaction, which we do by nature, you can be a big. If you are worried about time commitment, which is often the thing, we ask for an hour a week. So most people think it's a huge commitment, but an hour out of your week is something we generally can find. And we also understand that life happens. So some of our bigs are shift workers, for example, and so they meet every other week for a little bit longer. Yeah. So it's all flexible and it all takes life into account.
Do you anticipate, as we move through this COVID-19 and get to the other side, which we will, that the way you deliver the Big Brothers Big Sisters model, do you think it'll be a hybrid of technology and face-to-face? Do you anticipate it's going to change?
Were you going to say something, Andy?
Well, no, I think you're doing a really good job, but no, I think it'll be. We've learned a lot from this situation, so I'm sure we'll take the best of both times and merge them into a program where we can deliver the best service possible.
Yeah, Andy, you've been involved now. You said 25 years.
Yeah.
So you must have seen some real changes over.
Well, yeah, just 3 years ago, we were on the brink of folding. And
Wow.
And 3 years ago, we were only Big Brothers. The Big Sisters had folded in Owen Sound many years ago. So we were a very small board and didn't have the capacity to take on the Sisters program. So we applied for an Ontario Trillium Foundation grant to hire Mandi. And so we did get that grant. It was a large grant, and we were able to hire Mandi for 3 years. So now we've applied for an addition to that grant, and we were turned down. So we're in a kind of an awkward position here because we want to keep providing the service here in Grey Bruce County, but we have to have the funding.
Yeah. So really, besides the Great Canadian Giving Challenge, this is really an opportunity to tell the community about the organization and to indicate to the community that this is about survival for the organization. Now, if people wish to make donations or organizations or businesses, I know it's challenging times for everyone, but if they wish to make a donation, how do they do that?
Well, there's several ways. They can go on our website, and there's a donate button there, and it runs you through it's a very simple process. And if they want to get involved in the Canada Helps Giving Challenge, they can go to givingchallenge.ca. And you end up at the same place, and you can give there. Plus, when you do that, it gives us an opportunity to win $20,000 because we get a ballot for each dollar that's donated.
So tell me walk me through this exciting new initiative, the Great Canadian Giving Challenge, because it's just started, right? The month of June?
Yeah, that's right. It's for the entire month of June, and it's something that Canada Helps. I'm sure most people have heard of Canada Helps. They're a charity themselves that help charities. So they do a lot of the administration work, and if you donate, you get an instant tax receipt and you get a thank you immediately. So it saves us a lot of administration, and they take a small cut. So and just because of the COVID-19, they're giving the charities an opportunity to go out into the community and see if they can raise some more funds. And so it's a good deal, really, for everyone.
Yeah. So basically, you're encouraging people to go to, and you don't mind if I read this, www.givingchallenge.ca, or Canada Helps, correct?
Mhm.
Yes.
To make the donations. And this money that is donated will go directly to Big Brothers Big Sisters here in Grey Bruce, or does it, how does
No.
that?
It goes directly into our bank account, actually.
That's even better.
Yeah, no, it's all electronically deposited immediately. So as soon as you push the button.
Now you have a goal. You have a goal you've set for fundraising, or is it just the sky's the limit?
The sky's the limit. We generally have a golf tournament coming up in the next month or so, and this year that's a little nebulous, and we don't know if we're going to maybe do that at a later date. But it was always an income at this time of year, which is not going to be there. So hopefully we can make up for a bit of that through this giving challenge.
Yeah, which absolutely, I mean, for you to continue to deliver the services are critical. So tell me a little more about how long a big brother or a big sister can be within the program, and how long someone can volunteer to be a big brother and a big sister.
So we have some bigs who have been with us for 15 years.
Wow.
So they've seen littles come and go based on, moving away. Generally, a little will graduate from our programs when they're 16.
Yeah.
Not meaning that those relationships end if they're matched at the time. It may just mean that they don't have to talk to me anymore and they get to continue their friendship. The ideal big little relationships, they can be lifelong friendships. So there's plenty of examples of relationships that, a little is in a big sister's wedding, or a big is a little sister's godparent. So there's lots of examples of how these relationships are lifelong. And the important thing to remember is that, sometimes we don't connect right away, or maybe we get a bad match, but it doesn't mean that there isn't someone out there. So we do have bigs that are rematched with other littles, littles who are rematched with other bigs. So ideally, we're creating lifelong friendships.
Which is an amazing goal, really. So what sorts of circumstances would perhaps a little require a big brother or big sister? Can you maybe explain a bit about the littles and how they come to this organization?
Yeah, so all of the littles are, they can be self-referred by their family. So most of the school matches, they're referred by the school staff, but there isn't really any specific little. Every person can use someone else in their corner cheering them on, but many of youth, I would say in general, there's a lot of pressure on them, and there's a lot of unknowns, and they might have parents at home that are working, both of them 60 hours a week, and so they just want another adult that can hang out with them. Or maybe they have 4 siblings at home and they just want an adult that can be just theirs, someone that they can spend some time with every week. And some of them, they're in the foster system. Some of them are single parent homes. So we have all kinds of youth that come to us with all kinds of circumstances, and each one of them brings such a unique story and a unique life experience that just to see the relationships grow are amazing. Like, it's so heartwarming when we see caring adults that'll come forward and be there for the youth and empower them.
And I'm sure that's rewarding for you as well. So I'm wondering, Andy, you mentioned that there is a board of directors that are involved. Can you explain how many are on the board and what their role is?
Yeah, right now we have, I think, 8 other people besides 7 or 8. But anyway, no, we have, we have a vice president who is excellent, and Lloyd Moore. We have a treasurer. We have a fundraising chairperson. Everybody seems to have a role, and quite often we're a committee of the whole where everybody participates in an event or something, an ongoing project. It's we don't have enough for separate committees, although we have set up separate committees with just 2 or 3 people in them. We have so no, it's just recently we've got some new people, and they've been really, really good. So that's what we need is more knowledgeable, committed, volunteers who really believe in the process.
Yeah. So we're hearing a lot about the government releasing funds for various, COVID-19. Is there anything flowing potentially your way? Or are you between the cracks of some of that funding opportunity? Well,
we're on the outlook. We're always applying for grants. Just recently we applied for the $40,000 loan, which 10,000 of it is forgivable, and that came within 2 weeks.
Excellent.
So that's a big help. Like I said, we applied to the Trillium Foundation, but we're unsuccessful there. We're applying now to the Community Foundation, and we will be applying to the United Way for some funding that was some emergency response community funding, and we'll be applying to the United Way for that very soon. So yeah, we're always on the lookout for funding opportunities.
So in this COVID-19 world, we're hearing more and more that, school, obviously kids don't have school, right? Summer camps that are overnight camps are not functioning. Some day camps obviously still are not up and running, and we're not sure if they're going to be running. Does this put more of a demand on your service?
I think that it is an opportunity for us to partner with other organizations and hopefully offer those services. So we have our Go Girls group program, which is an 8-week program that we run in the school. And we have a big who's ready to deliver that program virtually, sort of to see if we can make that happen. So that's on my radar for the next couple of weeks, to try to pull together a group of youth who would be interested in that program. And it would just give them a chance to come together with a small group of other youth once a week and focus on their well-being, their self-esteem, their active living, their balanced diet. So I think it's an opportunity for sure that we can partner with other organizations and offer those opportunities.
So you're certainly continually looking for either funding opportunities or programming opportunities and how to create partnerships together, which is excellent. So you offer programs in schools. You mentioned the Go Girls. Any other programs that come to mind about what you have been offering or might consider offering?
So we offer Game On in the schools as well, which is another 8-week program. Same idea, self-esteem, focused on that physical, healthy lifestyle. It's a more active version of the program. So kids that don't sit still as well, they tend to be better suited for that program.
Yeah.
And then we do a 1-to-1 in-school mentoring, which is an hour a week at school, where the big goes into the school and they do non-academic activities, usually crafts, playing out on the playground, going for a walk around the schoolyard. So no real mandate there other than being a support and staying on school property.
So Andy, I'm interested in what prompted you 25 years ago to get involved in Big Brothers Big Sisters and obviously to stay for 25 years. That's a remarkable legacy that you have to contribute to an organization.
Yeah, well, it's all about giving and taking, and the community has been very good to me, so I'm trying to do something to help the community. A friend of mine 25 years ago who was on the board invited me to a few meetings, and the rest is history.
There you go.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's, I just, like I said, it's a way for us to give back to the community. We're fortunate to live in this community, and this might be a good opportunity to, on behalf of Big Brothers, just to thank this community for their support. We've been operating in the area for over 60 years, and we wouldn't have been able to do that without this, the support of volunteers and donators and et cetera.
You mentioned about having programs for the littles. Do you have any sort of connections or networking or chats with the bigs?
We have a monthly Big Bunch event that we do, and we invite our bigs and littles to attend those either together, or if they're unmatched, they can come to those events. And most of the bigs, to be honest, they'll just shoot me an email or send me a text message if they have any questions. So we're sort of a family around here, and we really share. We share our stories, and we share our lives, and we share our resources. So it's a very cool little community within the community. And I did a porch drop of some craft supplies, and I had one of the moms email back and say, I didn't even realize how cool this little community is, because her children are in the in-school program, so they have a lot less interaction with the organization directly. So it's been a cool opportunity.
Excellent. And it sounds as if certainly the needs are there, the needs are continue to be there, and it's really, we're asking the community together to help support this initiative. I can't believe that our time is almost up. Is there anything in 30 seconds you'd like to share?
Yeah, I would like to share. I mean, there's been, documented studies done to show how this Big Brothers Big Sisters thing works. 45% of the kids are going to we're going to have better time at school. 45% of the kids are going to be less involved in heavy drinking, it's just there's real solid stats to prove that our program works.
Excellent. I want to thank both of you for being on the program, and I wish you all the best in the Great Canadian Giving Challenge. And I want to thank our viewing audience for joining us today. Please take care, stay safe, and care for each other. Thank you.
Thank you.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
Hey everyone, I'm Christina of Homebodies Fitness. Join me for your at-home fitness routine. Let's all get fit together. Only on Rogers TV, Homebodies Fitness.
Are you a woman experiencing abuse? Do you know a woman experiencing abuse? Help is available.